Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video. So I seriously just filmed this and I discovered that my shirt was like completely open, which I really didn't thought was very appropriate for YouTube, so I just had to close everything up again and I'll film this again. That's such a stupid, like, I could understand if there was something completely different, like I was not in focus, but I was seriously just about, you know what, it's not that you can see anything, okay, but which is so annoying. We'll just do this again. I'm sorry if I seem tired or something. It's been a long day, let me just say that. We celebrated my birthday today, even though it's not my birthday today. It's my birthday like in 10 days from when this video comes up, but we are in Greece when it's my birthday, so we just celebrated with my family today. I'm gonna be 20, by the way. Yeah. And obviously, I got some money, and as soon as I got some money, I went down to the bookstore to pick up 3 books that I really wanted, and the guests were like still there, and I seriously just left to go to the bookstore. Yeah, I'm addicted. But I have over 25 books to show you guys. Some of them I've read and know something about, some of them I have no idea like what they're about. I just got them because YOLO, I'm not quite sure. But let's just get right into it because there's a lot of books. By the way, I am getting a new bookshelf. I'm so excited to get a bookshelf more. I'm like dying over it. It's gonna be so good. And I'm gonna get it tomorrow, so I am super excited. Let's get started with the books. The first one I got is called Working Stiff by Jody Melinek and TJ Mitchell. So I have already read this and I rated it 5 out of 5 stars. It was incredible good. You know these people that normally do autopsy on dead people, like cutting them up and, you know, finding out the cause of death, looking through their organs, doing all sorts of different tests. That's what Judy is. She mainly wrote this boat, I think. Boat. She mainly wrote this book, I think, and it's like so there's like different chapters which like different causes of death, which I thought was pretty interesting. So we have like poison, we have like homicide, we have like suicide, stuff like that. It's really interesting to read about and how the process is and like how tough actually sometimes it is to have a job like this, and stuff like that. And I think the biggest thought I had through this book was, how could you do it? How could you seriously be comfortable like cutting up a dead body and doing all sorts of stuff to find the cause of death? I mean, she says a lot in the book that you just get used to it and stuff like that, so yeah, but it was such an exciting book. And even though you may doesn't find it interesting, you know, like to read about people get cut up or something, it's so interesting to read about how this job actually works. So if you have watched a bit like in my previous video and stuff like that, you may recognize that North Korea is also a subject that I think is quite interesting to read about. So obviously I got a book or two about it as well, and the first one I got is called Escape from Camp 14 by Blaine Harden. So I'm not quite sure if the author is actually the person that escaped from North Korea or he's just writing about his, you know, the North Korean guy's experience. I'm not quite sure, but I have read a few books about women escaping from North Korea, but never about a guy, so I thought it would be really interesting to read it from a man's perspective. So that's why I decided to pick it up. The next book that I got is called No More Tomorrows by Chappelle Kobe with Catherine Vanilla. So this book actually says right here what this is about. It's about a woman that gets sentenced to 20 years in jail in Bali because of some, I have no idea. They found drugs in her bags. I'm not quite sure if they were placed there or it was actually her drugs, but yeah, it sounded pretty interesting to read about, like, also because she's a woman, so I thought it was interesting. And then for the biggest book of this haul, it's so huge, it's so intimidating, and that is If this is a woman inside Ravensbrück's Hitler's concentration camp for women. When I bought this, I didn't like, I looked at the ratings and what it was about on Goodreads, but I didn't really saw how many pages it were. And then when I got it, I was like, whoa, because it's huge. It's like 800 pages long, and it's so intimidating. But I think it's gonna be good. I hope so. The next book that I got is actually like a picture book, children's book, something like that, but I love it. It's super adorable. Look at it. It's called The Fantastic Flying Books of Mr. Morris Lesmore. So first of all, this is cute. This is super cute. I haven't read it, but I'm just going to show you some of the drawings. I hope you can see them. Like, hey, come on. You guys know I love books like these. They're so beautiful. The only bad thing about this is like it doesn't really fit on my bookshelf. That's kind of terrible. Now when we're already in like the children's section, I'm just going to continue with 3 other children middle grade book that I got, because this wouldn't be a book haul for me if there was not included a children or a middle grade book. Yeah. The first one I got is, you know that I love my David Willems book, right? And there's also 2 of them, but I wanted to try a new book as well, and I just like scrolled through Goodreads and Amazon just to find anything that sounded interesting, and I saw this book about a guy called Mr. Gum, and then I was like, okay, why not? So I got You're a Bad Man, Mr. Gum. I have no idea what this is about. It's a children's book. Probably isn't about really anything interesting. But once again, cute book, had to get it. I obviously got 2 of my David Willems book, and I'm pretty sure I have all of his books right now. I'm maybe missing like 1. The first one that I got is Ratburger, and I hate that this is a paperback cover. Mainly all of the books that I have by him, except from 1, now 2, are hardcover, and I love it, but we'll just have to go with the paperback this time. And I also got Grandpa's Great Escape. So yeah, you guys know that I just love these books, so yeah. The next book that I got is called OCD Love Story by Corey Ann Haydu. So I'm pretty sure OCD means obsessive. Oh, I forgot it. Obsessive compulsing disorder, disease. I'm not quite sure. Oh, I should look it up.
I really should. That's alright. I saw this. I'm pretty sure. I looked it up. Yeah, disorder.
Obsessive compulsive disorder. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what this is about, but the OCD love story title just got to me, and that's why I ordered it. Then I got my very first Sarah Dessen book, because I've heard her writing style is amazing, and I have never read a book by her before, and I thought now was the time. So I decided to pick a book from her, and I just picked a random one basically. So I decided to go with Along for the Ride by obviously Sarah Dessen, and I have no idea what this is about, but I just hope that I like her writing style, because she has many books and it would be amazing if I liked them, if I like, you know, the writing style, so I could get a ton more books by her. The next book I got is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, and I have already read this book and I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. There was a lot of good things about this book, but there was also a few things that I didn't really enjoy. The next book that I got it's kind of a funny story by, great name, Ned Vicini. So the only thing I know about this book that it has to do with suicide. And that's it. That's the only thing I know, and I can't even remember why I decided to pick it up. I actually thought that another author wrote this, but yeah. Good job, Sophie. Good job. Next book that I got is called Wild by Cheryl Strait. I've actually heard this has been made into a movie. That's pretty cool. I know that, well, I think I know that this book is about a woman that goes like backpacking and doesn't really have any experience or like anything like that with it, but and I think that that's her, like, we're just following her adventure, I guess. I think that's kind of like what it is about. But I'm definitely really excited to read it. The next book that I got is called Elsewhere by Gabrielle Sewin, and I'm just gonna read the back for you guys right here, because I find it quite hard to like explain what it's about just by the back. So yeah, it says, when Liz is involved in a hit-and-run accident, her life takes a very unexpected turn. At nearly 16, she knows she'll never get married, never have children, and perhaps never fall in love. But in Elsewhere, death is just the beginning. So I'm not quite sure what this book is about. If it's about we following her as a ghost, or I don't even know. Other books that I got is called, actually I have quite a lot of trouble with pronouncing this title, like a Memoirs of a Teenage Amnesiac or something. But again, actually Gabrielle Sewin, I actually didn't know both of these, both of these books were written by the same author before both of them arrived. But hopefully I like her writing style, obviously. So the only thing I know about this book is that we follow a character that all of a sudden wakes up in a hospital and she can't remember the last 3 years of her life. And like, where do you go from there? It sounded pretty interesting, so I picked it up. The next book I have to show you is A Prayer Before Dawn by Billy Moore. So this is about a guy experience being in one of the world's like toughest prison, which is set in Thailand. It sounded interesting, so that's why I decided to get it. Now, once again, a North Korean book, I decided to get The Girl with 7 Names by, okay. Do you want to try to pronounce this name? But, because I can't. I know I can't. Yeah, so, once again, this is about her escaping from North Korea, and I just think it's so interesting to read about, so that's why I decided to get it, and the reviews on this were quite good, so yeah. Then I got my very first classic, and I still can't pronounce the title, and it's so embarrassing. I got Pride and Prejudice, I'm sorry, Jane Austen, I'm sorry, like, this is awful. But I decided to get this by Jane Austen, yeah. And I'm actually not quite sure what the book is about, but I've just heard so many talked about this. And you know what, now I also want to read it, so I picked it up. The next book that I got is called Hitler's Führer or something, German Women in the Nazi Killing Fields. So I think it's pretty interesting to read about World War II. As you could probably see, I also had another book about concentration camp for women. I thought this is, again, I've read a lot about men during World War II, but not really that much about women. So I thought it would be interesting to pick it up. So yeah. The next book that I got is called Nobody Is Ever Missing by Catherine Lacey. So I saw this in a booktube video, and the cover just like, what? This is not the cover though, but it was a cheaper version, so I picked this up instead. And I thought the plot sounded interesting as well. We follow a character, a woman, girl, I'm not quite sure, that all of a sudden just decides to leave everything behind, like her husband and everything, to go to New Zealand and start living a life there. I think it sounded pretty interesting and like different, so I decided to pick it up. Next book that I got is called The Creeper Man by Don Kutakish. Yeah, or something. So this was mainly a cover buy. I did also thought that the summary sounded interesting, but now when I read the back, it sounds completely different from what I've read. But it sounds like a horror story, and that's also my thing, so I'm still pretty satisfied. I want you guys to hear the back. It sounds pretty creepy. Okay. There's a man in the trees, a man with no eyes, but still he watches. That's a surprise. Stay away from the woods, it couldn't be clearer, but the trees are creeping nearer and nearer. Beware the creeper man. Ooh. The other book that I got is called Faceless, and this is about, well, the only thing I know about this book is that we follow a character that lose like half or like her entire face in an accident, and I'm pretty sure this is like her story to live with basically having no face. being faceless. And I really like the cover as well. The next book that I got is called The Art of Being Normal by Lisa Williamson. So all I know about this book is that we definitely follow one character. He's a guy, but he wants to be a girl. I think that's such a important and interesting subject to talk about. So I wanted to see how she is talking about it, I guess. Writing about it more. Now for some of the books I got today. 2 of them I've ordered, but they first arrived today, and then 3 of them I actually bought in the bookstore today. So first I got this one called Fortune's Soul by Maxine. So apparently this is a lot of short stories. That's what I've heard because I saw this book in a booktube video and I wanted to pick it up because she made the book sound so interesting, so that's why I decided to pick it up. I know nothing about the book at all except that it's a lot of short stories. The other book that I got is Nightfall, and I am so interested to read this. I'm not quite sure if it's a horror story, but I've heard a lot of people mention that they got a bit scared while reading this, and if a book can scare me, I would be really surprised. But I don't know, it just sounded interesting, so I decided to pick it up. And now for the books I got in the bookstore. The first one, I can definitely not pronounce the title, and that is Illuminate. Or maybe that's just the title, Illuminate. I know it's not Illuminati. Illuminate. By Amy Kaufman and Jay Christoph. So I actually didn't read the back when I got it. I am just so intrigued about the cover and how the book is built. There's just a lot of different stuff. It seems kind of interesting, so I decided to get it. And the other book that I got is Confess by Colin Hoover. So I read the entire Slam trilogy by Colin Hoover and I loved it. It was one of the first English books I've ever read. I love her writing style. I think it's so beautiful. So I wanted to pick another book by her, and I just decided to go for this one because I really liked the cover and I thought it sounded interesting. So yeah. The last book that I got is also a book that I'm really super excited about. It has such a different storyline and I've never heard anything like this before actually, and it is called Homegoing. So I really do want to read the back for you guys because I want you guys to understand what this is about. So it says, Effia and Izzy, 2 sisters with 2 very different destinies. One sold into slavery, one a slave trader's wife. Already there, do you know how exciting that is? The consequences of their fates reverberate, or something, through the generations that follow. Quite interesting and something I've never read before, so I wanted to pick this up, obviously. Those were all the books I have been collecting. Oh, I forgot the one that I haven't gotten yet. I also got We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, I'm pretty sure his name is. I'm really excited about all of these books and I can't wait to read them. And I can't wait to get my new bookshelf. I'm gonna get it tomorrow because I already filled up my bookshelf over there and I need a new one because I will probably never stop buying books. But those were all the books I've been getting in August, and I will leave for Greece soon and everything will be great. I will still have 1 video every week because I actually have 2 other videos, so it matches perfectly. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!